pedal assist 3, 39.3.
This electric dirt bike has a 3000 watt peak motor with a top speed of 35 miles per hour, dual suspension, hydraulic disc brakes, and a max range of 100 miles for nearly $1,000. It sounds great on paper, but does it hold up to its claims? Stay tuned to find out. This is a two-part review of the Hikeep K6S or K6 Max electric dirt bike. The first video will cover the unboxing, assembly, controls, display and settings, and how to unlock the max speed. The second video will test acceleration and max speed, brakes, suspension, and hill capabilities, and review the e-bike. The K6S has a 1500 watt nominal or 3000 watt peak rear hub motor with a max speed of 35 miles or 56 kilometers per hour, twist throttle, 52 volt 40 amp hour battery with a range of up to 100 miles or 161 kilometers, NFC unlock, front and rear hydraulic disc brakes, front and rear suspension, 20 by 4 inch tires, headlight, taillight, turn signals, and weighs 95 pounds or 43 kilograms. Additional specs can be found in the description section below.
Here's the box that it came in. It's quite large. It's about 5 feet long, 3.5 feet tall, and a foot deep. The bike itself weighs 95 pounds with the charger, all the packing, cardboard, and tools. It's easily over 100 pounds. You might need 2 people to carry this into your house. Took all the foam off. Inside the box we have the frame itself. This is the front wheel. There is an axle for the front wheel. Fenders, Hikeep bag that appears to be empty. There's this piece that goes in the front. The seat, another fender. There's also this box. Inside the box we have tools, wrenches, Allen keys, NFC cards, keys, looks like a Phillips head screwdriver, pedals. Behind that, we have the instruction manual, the headlight bar, the charger, zip ties, and a foot pump. And there's nothing else behind that. The first thing we'll do is install the handlebar. Instead of using the Allen keys that came with, I'm using an electric screwdriver. We're going to take these 4 bolts off. We're going to put the handlebar in place with the brake levers facing forward, making sure that the handlebar is centered. We'll put this clamp back on and then screw it back. I'm going to tighten the bolts for now, but we can always sit on it later and readjust the angle to what's most comfortable for you. While I'm here, I'm going to install the headlight. So I'll take the 10mm to hold the nut in place, and then I'll unscrew the bolt on both sides. Plug in the headlight. It seems like there's no direction for the headlight. You can either place it right side up or upside down, so it doesn't really matter. Making sure that the cables are inside this bracket, we are going to put the headlight in. I noticed that these nuts are not nylon locking nuts, so they might become loose over time. You can put some blue Loctite if you have some, or you can just check on them periodically. We can adjust this headlight angle once we have the front wheel on. We can also put this plastic cover in place. We'll need to use zip ties to hold it in place. Next, I'll install the front fender. I'll take this bolt and washer off. We'll feed this through with the short side inside and the long side facing forward. They want you to flip the entire bike over to install the front wheel, so you can either do the seat now or later. If you put the seat now, it offers some protection so it doesn't scratch up the frame, or you can protect it with cardboard, but then this also sticks out, so you need to protect it. On the bottom of the seat, there's 4 nuts that you'll need to take off. Then looking here, there's holes that'll go into 2 in the front, 2 in the back. You also need to put this fender in between. We'll take this fender, we'll line up the holes through these bolts, and then there's these 2 tabs here that we'll push it into so it stays in place. We'll line up the bolts through the holes that I mentioned earlier. And we'll take our 4 nuts and tighten them. I'm taking a 10mm socket and I'm going to finish tightening them. The taillight is hanging loose. There's nuts on them as well. We'll take them off. This one appears to be missing, but it's probably floating around the box. We'll screw this on. There's 2 more bolts and washers for the rear wheel fender. The pedals are directional. Match the right with the right. For the right, you'll turn it clockwise to tighten it. And the left is the opposite. You'll turn it counterclockwise to tighten it. I flipped the e-bike over. I'm using foam to support the rear and the front. I'm going to take this axle protector off. Looking at the new front axle, we have the nut, a washer, a bushing with the shorter end facing inwards, dust cover, where it's smooth on the outside, and then we have the same thing that repeats on the other side. It's going to be the nut, the washer, this fork, the bushing, the dust cover, and then the front wheel hub in between. We'll take one side off, keeping it in order. We're also going to take the dust cover and bushing off. Lifting the front wheel, we're going to have the side with the disc on the side with the caliper. We're going to feed the disc between the brake pads. I'm going to put a dust cover and the bushing on one side of the front wheel and then feed the axle through. It's going to be the nut, the washer, the fork, the bushing, the dust cover, the front wheel. We'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Dust cover, bushing, fork, washer, nut. We'll take our 15mm wrench to tighten both sides. From the factory, the caliper is loose. While holding the brake lever, we'll tighten the top and bottom caliper bolts. Ideally, when you release the brake lever, the disc should be centered. Try spinning it. This one is still rubbing. I'll need to loosen these bolts again. Looking between the pads and disc, I have to manually adjust it so that it's centered. And then eventually it will not rub anymore. And we'll do the same thing on the back. Inflate the tires to 40 psi. I've been using the supplied pump and I've been pumping for about 4 minutes. It says it's past 20 psi, but it feels like there's more pressure. So I'm going to use a different pump to double check. Let's take a look at the charging port and battery. First off, with the charging port, it's right here. You can remove this piece of rubber to expose the port, and then you can plug in this end of the plug and then put the other end into the outlet. I'm not by an outlet right now, but if this was plugged in, this LED indicator would be red when it's charging and it'll be green when it's full. It said it takes between 8 to 10 hours to fully charge. Here's the charger information in case you're interested. The model is JY-588300. The input is 100 to 240 volts, 50/60 hertz at 3.5 amps. The output is 58.8 volts at 3 amps. It came with 2 keys inside the box. We'll put one key in here, turn it counterclockwise to unlock it, and then we can pull this upwards to slide it out. This is the side of the battery. There's the charging port. Here's an off and on switch. The circle is off, the line is on. Here's the top of the battery. There's a battery indicator. Turning the battery on, we can press this power button. Only 3 are lit. It's about 60% full. Here's the other side with the key. We had to put it in, turned it counterclockwise to unlock, clockwise to lock. And here's the locking mechanism. Here's the battery contacts and the battery model information. The model is FP5240R0, 42 volts, 40 amp hours, 2080 watt hours. And Here's the back. Let's put the battery back in. Let's take a look at the controls. Starting on the left side, we have the grip, controls for the headlight and horn. There's another control for up, M, and down. This is the front brake lever, the display, the headlight, 7-speed shifter, rear brake lever, twist throttle, and grip. In order to turn the unit on, we need to turn the battery on. Make sure that the red switch is in the on position, which is the line, not the circle. We'll press and hold the N button. And it's asking for a password. Let's try 6666 by pressing the plus button or up button. We can change the value. We'll press M to go to the next value. And that works. I'll use the NFC card. I'll touch the screen. Starting on the top left, we can see the battery level. It's at 62%. We're in pedal assist 1. This is the current speed in miles per hour. The odometer, if we press M, it changes to trip, max speed, average speed, voltage 52.3, amps or current, and then it goes back to odometer. If we press the plus button, it changes the pedal assist level from 1 to 2 to 3. 3 is the highest. We can also go down, and we can go to 0, which means it turns the pedal assist off. If we press and hold the plus button, the headlight icon shows up. This headlight icon doesn't actually do anything. We need to press the headlight switch to turn the headlight on or off. This would also be a good time to adjust your headlight. If we press and hold the minus button, it provides a pedestrian assist of 4 miles per hour. If we press and hold the plus and minus button, it goes to settings. I'll ask the manufacturer for the programming settings and I'll put them on the screen, but I'll just go through the default ones and go over the ones that I am aware of. There's P00, the default is 1. If we press the M button, we can change the value. This should be screen brightness because the screen is getting brighter. It goes from 1 to 3. We'll press M to go back to the P setting. If we press up, it goes to P2. If we press M, we can change the value from miles to kilometers. I'll keep it in miles. P3 is 52. I think this is the voltage. P4 is 10. P5 is 3. P6 is 22.5. P7 is 0. P8 is 65. P9 is 0. P10 is 2. P11 is 2. P12 is 3. P13 is 12. P14 is 18. P15 is 43.0. P16 is 0. P17 is 0. P18 is 1. P19 is 40. P20 is 666. This is the default password. In order to get out of this, we have to press and hold the plus and minus button. And it goes back to the main menu. In order to turn the unit off, we'll press and hold the M button. Before unlocking the max speed, I'm going to test the max speeds in each pedal assist level. In pedal assist 0 with the throttle, it doesn't work. In 1, it's 8.3 miles per hour. In 2, it's 14.2. And 3, it's 20.2. In order to unlock the max speed, we'll need to turn off the unit. We'll need to fully press the brake lever, fully twist the throttle, and then turn the unit on. We'll hold this for 20 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 18, 19, 20. Let's try it now. Pedal assist 0, shouldn't work. Pedal assist 1. 14.5 miles per hour. Pedal assist 2. 25.9. Pedal assist 3. 39.3.